What is going on, guys? Welcome to Season 2 of Industrialized. Finally. We are running on Minecraft 1.4.6 and as you guessed, the mods have all finally been updated to the same version of Minecraft. I've been waiting pretty much months for this and it's kind of sucked, but we're finally to the point where we can start the series. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to come right off and tell you that this is not a gameplay video. This is basically episode 0 of the season where I'm just going to kind of ramble on about what to expect in the coming season. And if you're watching this video as soon as it's uploaded, then if you hold tight, you will probably see episode 1 very soon-ish, depending on how fast it uploads and all that fun stuff. So basically, what I'm going to do is explain what to expect in this season of Industrialized. So first off, if you haven't watched my previous season, you would not know kind of my playstyle and whatnot, so I'm going to go into that right now. So what you cannot expect to see in my LP is magic. A lot of the other tech mod Let's Players, they like to use magic, and the magic are cool mods, but like I'm thinking like Thaumcraft, Equivalent Exchange, lots of other magic mods around. They don't really fit in my industrial theme, so I try to avoid most magic mods. Not all of them, but I try to keep the amount of magic similar to what vanilla Minecraft has for magic. So also, I'm more of an adventurer, so I don't generally build a lot of things in one episode. My builds generally take 2 or more episodes to complete. I mostly kind of just play the game like I normally would and record it. I like to kind of take things slow and well, I don't know, like towards the end of my first season I kind of started to build a little more towards the end to make things interesting, but for the most part you can expect like the pace of play towards the middle of season 1. And also I like to play everything legit. I do have NEI installed, not enough items, so if there are any bugs that cause me to lose a lot of stuff, then we'll probably replace them with NEI, but otherwise I will mine everything legit, and I will be playing with mobs enabled. So I think for most of season 1 I actually turned them off because they got annoying, but I get hiccups. This season I'm going to try and leave them enabled. So that's sort of the play style. Like I said, expect kind of a slower style of play, more mellow, less I built some pretty cool stuff, but I just don't build real quick. So now we're going to move on to the mods. Kind of going to go through my mod list, kind of explain a little bit about the mods and what to expect from them. You should be able to see the list of mods in the description of this video, but if you want more detailed information on the mods with links and direct downloads and stuff, then there should be a link to my forum thread where I have a table with all the mods I'm using, and you can basically download the exact version of the mod I'm using right from the forum thread. It's where possible I use the modders add fly link, so they still get compensated for downloads and you get the convenience of a direct download. I'm also going to be posting my multi-MC config pack, so there should be a link somewhere for that. I don't know if I'll put it in the description or it will definitely be on the forum thread. I just don't know if it'll be in the description too. Probably will, I don't know. Haven't thought about that yet. But yeah, it's basically a zip file that you can download, and then if you have to run multi-MC, but open up your multi-MC. It may even work on the Feed the Beast launcher, I'm not sure. But you can import my config pack, and it will basically tell you what mods you need to download, and you'll have all my configs so your block IDs are not conflicting and all that fun stuff. Let's see. Now we will move into the mods. So obviously I'm using Minecraft Forge. This is basically a Forge pack that I've assembled myself. I did consider using Feed the Beast, but it has a lot of mods that I don't really like. I mean, I can disable them, but I like to have more control, so when mods get updated, I can update them whenever I want. I don't have to wait for them to push out a Feed the Beast mod pack. So this is completely custom mod pack. As you can see, I have 62 mods installed. We can see the nice list here. I'm not really gonna go, well, I'm gonna go through I have a second one here. I'm just reading off my forum thread. They're organized a little better than the alphabetical mod list. So okay, so we already touched on Forge. We're also using Optifine. That really gives you a much better frame rate, but I find the current version I'm using, which is the 1.46 version, HD Ultra A2 is what I'm using, and it does have a couple bugs in it. I have a feeling that it might be causing my Minecraft to crash when I launch or create a new world, so yeah. And it also has a chest bug, which I'll get into that in a few minutes, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. We're using, obviously, Not Enough Items, and the Not Enough Items plugins, which basically gives you recipes for a lot of other mods. I can't remember off the top of my head which mod. I think it adds like Buildcraft recipes and yeah, all kinds of stuff. I can't remember. I just know that it's pretty important to have. We use Ender Storage by Chicken Bones. That's basically an Ender chest, but it has like little things on the top you can have like multiple Ender chest networks. So you can have 2 blue Ender chests linked together, and then 2 purple Ender chests linked together completely separately. It's a lot more versatile. And we have Ray's Minimap, which is just a minimap that lets you put waypoints in the world. ExtraBiomesXL, which adds extra biomes. Some new trees, rocks, other little decorative blocks. Metallurgy 2, which I don't even know how to explain that one. It's basically like a huge ore / tool / armor mod. Maybe I'll touch on that again after I get to the rest of the mods. We have Red Power 2, which if you are at all familiar with tech mods, you should know Red Power 2. It basically updates redstone from redstone dust to crafting the redstone dust into wires. You can put wires on walls, ceilings, and make cables out of it, different colored cables, logic gates, a whole machine system, tubes. Yeah, it's a pretty big mod. We have wireless redstone, which, as it sounds, it just transmits redstone signals wirelessly. We have Buildcraft. You should also know what Buildcraft is. It adds a bunch of pipes that you can use to transport items around, engines that you can power different machines like quarries and automatic builders and all kinds of neat stuff. Forestry is an add-on to Buildcraft, and that adds a bunch of like farms, the tree farms, wheat farms, biofuel, all kinds of fun stuff. We have compact mobs. I haven't actually seen anybody do an LP with this mod. I think it's relatively new, but it allows you to put mobs in like cages. And you can go to a pig and put them in a cage, and then put them in your inventory and bring them back to your base instead of having to coax them across the map with wheat or whatever. And then that also allows you to put mobs inside of Buildcraft pipes or red power tubes or whatever. Also has some machines that let you breed animals. I haven't played with it a whole a whole lot. I just thought it was cool to be able to transport mobs in cages. We also have logistics pipes, and it's the RS485 version, not the craft version. So this version, well, if you don't know what logistics pipes is, basically it's an add-on for Buildcraft and lets you put these pipes that are, it's really hard to explain. You should really look up a video on it if you don't know what logistics pipes are. It lets you request items and automatically sort items, and like that's as simple as I can explain it. We have the valve pipe, which adds some pretty useful pipes into Buildcraft. It's actually more than just a valve pipe, but that's what the mod is called. We have thermal expansion, which adds some cool new Buildcraft machines for crushing up ore and like a furnace, an automated furnace, sawmill, all kinds of really cool stuff in thermal expansion. OmniTools is by the same guys that make thermal expansion. Basically lets you convert your ore dictionary items between like other compatible items. Like you can take IndustrialCraft bronze and convert it to Forestry bronze. Next we have IndustrialCraft. That basically adds a whole lot of, well, its core feature is an energy net. So you put down like different kinds of generators, you create power, you transport them through wires, and you can use that to power different machines, like a macerator, which you can put ore into it, and it gives you ore dust, which is like you put one iron into it, you get 2 iron dusts, and you can smelt those into 2 iron ingots. So it's basically good for doubling your ore. Also add some other stuff like some crops, some like agriculture stuff that I've never really used. Lots of different tools like chainsaw and diamond drill, and compact solar is an add-on for IndustrialCraft, which lets you take IndustrialCraft solar panels and basically compact them down into smaller, like for instance, I think it's like instead of having 8 individual IndustrialCraft solar panels, you can place one low voltage solar panel, which is equivalent to those 8 solar panels, but it takes up 1 block. Therefore, it gives more power. It's more expensive, but it creates less lag. I think that's basically the whole purpose of it, was to minimize your solar panel lag. We have transformers that converts Buildcraft and IndustrialCraft to power between each other. ChargePads let you charge on these ChargePads, and you can charge any IndustrialCraft items that you're holding. Nuclear Control lets you monitor reactors and power storage devices from IndustrialCraft. Advanced power management, that gives you, let me think, it's an extension of the old charging bench mod, where you put down a charging bench and you could fill it with batteries or whatever, and then it would slowly charge over time. I think it's an extension of that. It adds a couple more things, but I cannot remember what they were. But I just know it was pretty cool, so I used it. And of course we have Railcraft, which is a huge overhaul of the Railcraft, or the minecart system in Minecraft. So you can link carts together, you can get tunnel bore machines. It also has expanded a little bit, so you can now generate steam. So you can have like steam powered stuff, and it's really one of my favorite mods. Even though I don't really get a whole lot of chance to use it, I like the direction he is taking it. ComputerCraft, it lets you place computers in a world, and you can program them with the Lua programming language. So you can control redstone objects, and there's these little robots. They're called turtles. You can program them to mine stuff and build stuff. It's pretty cool. We have miscellaneous peripherals, or MIS peripherals. Basically adds a bunch of turtles to ComputerCraft, like shearing turtles, and I don't even know what half of them are, but it's pretty useful. Next up we have Wee Flowers. Just adds a bunch of flowers to Minecraft. They spawn naturally in the game, and you can create different dyes from them. So it makes dyes easier to get And that's pretty important when you're using red power, because the colored cable, you need to have a lot of dye for colored cable. So next we have Steve's Carts. That is basically a mod, kind of adds more to the vanilla minecart system, where you can create all these super advanced minecarts. So you can have like a minecart and you can add like torch placers on it, and a mining drill and storage chests, and you can customize it any way you want. It's pretty cool. And we have Mistcraft, which is sort of magical. Well, I guess it's, I don't know, it's, in essence it is very magical, but it doesn't really have a lot of, it doesn't look that magical. Like you place down a book and then you open the book and it teleports you to an alternate dimension, which is pretty useful if you're trying to test different things, or you can make some pretty neat dimensions that are like always daylight, or they have like asteroid impacts and all kinds of cool stuff. So I figured it's not too magical to use on my LP, so, and it was pretty important that I install it, so there it is. Next we have the portal gun mod. I have everything except the portal gun itself disabled, so like all the companion cube stuff from Portal is disabled. All the turrets, I just use the portal guns, and that's just so I can travel easily. And I have it, I think I have it enabled so that it consumes fuel when you create portals to make it a little less overpowered. Then we have soul shards. Soul shards let you collect souls from mobs, and basically when you collect enough souls, you can create your own spawner and spawn those mobs. And we have Greg's Lighting, which Greg's Lighting adds a bunch of, not a bunch, but it adds a floodlight that you can use to light up huge areas, kind of like sunlight. So that's basically the mod list in definitely not really brief form, but yeah. So if we go back to the Metallurgy 2, basically it is comprised of a bunch of modules that add different ores to the game. So it basically takes over all the ore generation for your game. So all the mods like Red Power 2, I disabled like copper, tin, silver generation, and Forestry I disabled copper and tin, and any other mod like Railcraft, IndustrialCraft that try to generate ores, they're pretty much disabled, except for I think thermal expansion lead is the only ore that's not covered by Metallurgy. So the cool thing about this is that you disable all the mod ores and then you just use the Metallurgy ores. So instead of having like 8 different versions of copper spawn in your world, you disable them all and you have the one version of copper from Metallurgy. And yeah, it just keeps everything more consistent, and you can edit the config file to say like generate X amount of veins of copper. So basically I followed a guide that says, you know, if you have red power installed, disable copper generation in red power and add 2 to the number of veins in Metallurgy, and then you do that for all your mods, and you end up with one mod generating as much copper as all the other mods would have generated combined. So you have 1 copper in your world instead of like 5 different ones, but you also have the same amount of copper that you would have had with the 5 different mods generating copper, if that makes sense. And it also adds so you can like create some really powerful swords and picks and armor, and it also adds some ore to the nether, so you have something to do in the nether, and some decorative blocks so you can take like copper and make like copper bricks or iron bricks and all that fun stuff. Alright, so that's pretty much all my mods that I'm using, at least for episode 1. I know this video is running kind of long, but if you're still listening, then you're definitely a trooper, because I probably would have skipped this video by now. Alright, so last but not least, Greg Tech. I was going to use GregTech, but I decided not to use GregTech. The mod itself is it's really appealing to me. I like the advanced features of it and kind of its purpose to add kind of more tech towards the end game. But for technical reasons, I've decided not to use it, and that's basically because it interfaces too much with other mods. Like, it changes a lot of recipes. It relies a lot on functionality of other mods. It doesn't require that the mods be installed, but I just feel like there's more of a chance that stuff is going to break down the road. So, like, I know it interfaces a lot with IndustrialCraft, so, like, it's possible that an IndustrialCraft update could cause an incompatibility with GregTech, and then, at worst, it could corrupt chunks in the world or corrupt the world itself, and that would suck. And another reason is that it updates way too much. Usually that's a good thing, but when you're trying to do an LP and a mod is updating daily, it's really hard to keep everything synchronized, and especially when I have to update my forum thread, I have to update my config packs, and yeah, just too much updating makes it hard to test stuff and make stuff unstable. So as much as I want to use the mod, I am not going to use it for technical reasons. So, I think that basically covers everything I wanted to cover. If you're still watching this, then yeah, I'm actually surprised. So, anyway, talk to you later, and by the time you finish watching this, hopefully episode 1 is uploaded.